Good evening. As promised, this is now the continuation of our previous lecture. Last time, we discussed journal entries that originated from the increase or decrease in assets, liabilities, capital, revenue, and expenses. All of this came from business transactions. So today is an interesting topic because we will post all transactions that we made in the general journal to the general ledger. We must be careful and must exercise extra professional diligence in dealing with this posting of transactions, because after the posting we will prepare the trial balance. Any error in the posting can be seen in the effect of the trial balance, because the trial balance is a procedure wherein we will try if the posting to the general ledger are all correct. So let's take one by one the general ledger on a per account title basis. So let's take up the general ledger for cash. So we are on page 1. So these are the headings as I illustrated in the previous lectures. The headings are the date, the explanations, the reference number where the transactions came from, the debit, credit, and the balance. The advantage of this format is that we can see the running balance of each account. Just for example, for cash, for every transaction, once we encoded every transaction, we can see the running balance of cash. For those engaged in preparing software, accounting software, this format of general ledger is usually being used because in this format we can see automatically the running balance of each account title. So let's begin the posting. We will get the amounts from the general journal that we used in the previous lecture. We will still use the problem of Alexa Grace Grocery Store. So we are now on the page 1 of general ledger for cash. So the first transaction that we will post is coming from general journal page 1. So you can see that in your reference. In the reference column, you can see GJ1, meaning General Journal page 1. And the date is April 2, 2020. The explanation is the initial capital investment of Alexa Grace, the owner of the grocery store. So the transaction for cash is debit. If you will go back to the journal entry that we prepared, this cash transaction is debit because the entry here is debit cash, credit Alexa Grace Capital. We are now taking one by one the transactions that only pertains to cash. Meaning to say, this ledger for cash is exclusively for cash only. We are not supposed to put in this ledger any other transactions. This ledger is exclusively for cash only. So you can see the 2 million, the first journal entry that came from general journal page 1, as we can see in the reference column. So the balance, of course, is 2 million. Here is what we are saying. we have the running balance. So on April 2, since the first transaction that we posted is 2 million, of course, the balance is also 2 million. So let's go to the next transaction for cash. Remember, all these are being taken from the general journal. So on the same date, we have a credit transaction. That is purchase of office equipment. Look at the reference number, GJ1, meaning this was taken from general journal page 1. What can you notice with the 250,000 pesos? It is a credit entry. Because the entry that we can see in general journal page 1 is debit office equipment and credit cash. Therefore, if we will post the 250,000 to the ledger for cash, that is credit. That is a credit transaction for cash. As I have said, this ledger for cash is exclusively for cash only. So that credit of 250,000 is the amount that we paid when we purchase office equipment. So since we have a balance of 2 million, we will deduct 250,000. The normal balance of cash is debit, meaning all credits will be deducted from the balance of 2 million. 2 million is the cash in our possession, but we spent 250,000. It is only logical to deduct 250,000 from 2 million. That is why our balance is 1,750,000 pesos. So that is the balance of cash on April 2 because of the purchase of equipment of 250,000 pesos. Next, on April 3, the company again purchased office furnitures and fixtures. The amount that we spent is 75,000 pesos. So here you can see, you may notice the 75,000 is also on the credit side because that is a cash disbursement, meaning we spent money for 75,000 pesos. To put all these things in a simpler manner, the debit is considered the amount that you receive, the amount of money that you receive, while the credit column represents the amount of money that you disbursed or the amount of money that you spent, because we are talking here of the general ledger for cash. So the 75,000 pesos of course will be deducted from 1,750,000. That is why the balance of our cash on April 3 is 1,675,000 pesos because we deducted 75,000 pesos from 1,750,000. Next, on April 4, the grocery store again purchased store equipment, and that was taken on General Journal page 2. Remember, the reference number is being used for paper trail purposes. If you want to see the original entry regarding purchase of store equipment and other transactions, just go to the reference number. So this purchase of store equipment were taken from the General Journal page 2. It is a credit entry 125,000 pesos because in this transaction cash was credited. As I have said, the 125,000 should be deducted because that is a cash disbursement. So the balance of our cash on April 4, 2020 is 1,550,000. So you can see the balance of cash is declining because we have already 3 disbursements, 250,000, 75,000, and 125,000 pesos. The balance of our cash is declining because of these 3 disbursements. On April 5, 2020, another cash disbursement. That is the purchase of merchandise. We paid 376,000 pesos. And that was taken from General Journal, page 2. Since this is a cash disbursement, the 376,000 pesos will be deducted from 1,550,000 pesos. That is why the balance of cash on April 5, 2020 is 1,174,000 pesos. Next, on April 9, 2020, we have a cash sales, meaning Alexa Grace sold merchandise for cash. That means the company received money or cash amounting to 490,000 pesos. You may notice the 490,000 pesos was placed on the debit column because this is a cash receipt. All figures appearing in the debit column are cash receipts, while those appearing on the credit column are cash disbursements. As simple as that. And that 490,000 was taken from General Journal, page 3. Take a look at the reference number. We have GJ3. What will you do with that 490,000? That will be added to 1,174,000 pesos because we received cash. By this time, our money was increased from 1,174,000 to 1,664,000 because of the receipt of 490,000 pesos. So that is another cash transaction. Next, on April 11, there was a cash disbursement of 100,000 pesos. What is that cash disbursement? Look at the explanation. That is the payment of accounts payable. We paid cash to settle our indebtedness. And this transaction were taken from the book of original entry, General Journal, page 3. 100,000 pesos. That 100,000 pesos, since that was posted on the credit side, that is a disbursement and will be deducted from 1,664,000. The balance of cash as of April 11, 2020 is 1,564,000 pesos. So that is the balance after this payment of accounts payable on April 11. Next. So we are still on the page 1 of our ledger for cash. I decided to label it page 1 because page 1 pertains to cash transactions only. So another transaction. On April 13, 2020, take note, there is a debit entry of 160,000 pesos, and that was taken from General Journal, page 4, as indicated in the reference number. What is that? That is collection of accounts receivable. So that 160,000 was added to the previous cash balance. That is why our new balance was increased to 1,724,000 pesos. So that was on April 13, 2020. On April 16, another cash disbursement happened. That was taken from General Journal, page 4. And that is the payment of insurance premium amounting to 24,000 pesos. And that 24,000 pesos, since appearing on the credit column, should be deducted from 1,724,000 pesos. So the new balance is 1,724,000 pesos. On April 17, another disbursement, we paid the salaries of the employees of Alexa Grace. And this transaction was taken also from General Journal page 4 on April 17, 2020. The amount is 97,000 posted on the credit column because this is a cash disbursement. So since this will be deducted, the reduced balance is 1,603,000 pesos. Next, on April 25, another disbursement happened. The total disbursement is 127,000 pesos. That represents payment of different expenses. And that was taken from General Journal page 5. Since 127,000 was posted on the credit column, that should be deducted from the cash balance of 1,603,000 pesos. The new cash balance is 1,476,000 pesos. Next, this is the last transaction concerning cash. Another disbursement of 27,000 pesos, and that was taken from General Journal page 5, and that represents the withdrawal of the owner for her own personal expenses. And that was posted to the credit column. So that 27,000 pesos withdrawal of the owner should be deducted from the cash balance of 1,476,000 pesos. The new balance of cash is 1,449,000 pesos. So the amount of 1,449,000 pesos is the remaining cash as of April 30, 2020. So this is the essence of this ledger with running balance. Instantly we can see the balance at the end of the month. It is clearly indicated here that our money or the money in our possession at the end of April is 1,449,000. It is a debit balance. It is a normal debit balance. As we discussed in our previous lecture, the normal balance of all asset accounts is debit. And since cash is an asset, the balance of 1,449,000 is a debit balance. It is a normal balance. How did we know that 1,449,000 is a debit balance? Because the total debits are greater than the total credits. In other words, the total amount or entries on the debit column are greater than the total amounts in the credit column. That is how you determine if the balance is a debit balance or a credit balance. In this case, this 1,449,000 pesos is a debit balance because the total debits are greater than the total credits. What is the essence of determining whether it is a debit or credit balance? We can appreciate that when we prepare the trial balance. Any amount considered as debit balance should be placed in the debit balance or in the debit column or of your trial balance. So that is the essence of knowing the debit or the credit balance of an account. I repeat, in this case, the 1,449,000 pesos is a debit balance because the total debits are greater than the total credit. And this balance is a normal balance because cash is an asset account. Next, let's proceed to the next account title. So the next account title is accounts receivable. This is now page 2 of our general ledger. If you will notice, if you will go back to the previous lecture when we prepared journal entry. The reference number for accounts receivable is GL2, meaning General Ledger page 2. If the transaction is concerning cash, the reference number that we can see in the general journal is GL1 because cash pertains to GL1. So accounts receivable is page 2 or GL2 in your general journal. So these are the headings. Let's take up the first transaction. On April 10, 2020, there was a sales on account. So there was a debit entry for accounts receivable. That is why we posted here 560,000 as debit entry. That is sales on account, and we can see that on the general journal page 3. Since 560,000 is the first transaction, the balance is also 560,000 pesos. We have only two transactions concerning accounts receivable. And the second transaction is 160,000 credit entry. What can you notice in this transaction? If you will go back to General Journal, page 4, you can see the transaction, collection of accounts receivable. That means we collected accounts receivable. That means accounts receivable was reduced because of that collection. That is why the entry in that particular transaction is debit cash, credit accounts receivable, 160,000 pesos. And this is now the posting to the general ledger of that collection. It is appearing in the credit side because that 160,000 reduce accounts receivable. As we discussed, decrease in asset means credit. Since 160,000 is on the credit side, that should be deducted from 560,000 pesos. And the balance of accounts receivable now is 400,000 pesos. Why is 160,000 deducted? Because it is a collection of accounts receivable. And any collection should reduce the balance of your accounts receivable. It reduces the balance of your receivables from your customers because of that collection. So we have only two transactions for accounts receivable. That is why our balance is 400,000. So the amount of 400,000 is the remaining accounts receivable as of April 30, 2020. That is the significance of this running balance method in preparing general ledger. Instantly you can see the balance of each account title, but by looking at the balance column, it is a debit balance. How did we know that this is a debit balance? Because the total debits are greater than the total credits. Whichever is bigger, that will be the resulting balance of your account. This debit balance is a normal balance because this is an asset account. In accordance with our discussion, the normal balance of all assets is debit. Let's proceed to the next account title. Prepaid insurance. Actually, we have only one transaction. On April 16, 2020, we paid for the insurance policy of 24,000 pesos. If you will go back to General Journal page 4, you can see an entry, debit prepaid insurance, credit cash. That is why we will post 24,000 pesos in the debit column because the journal entry shows an entry of debit prepaid insurance. Since we have only one transaction for prepaid insurance, the balance is 24,000 pesos. So, The 24,000 pesos is the balance of prepaid insurance at the end of the month. Naturally, it is a debit balance because we have only one transaction. Next, office equipment. Also, we have only one transaction for office equipment, and this is the purchase that happened on April 2. If you will go back to General Journal page 1, you can see a journal entry, debit office equipment for 250,000 debit. That is why you will post that 250,000 as debit in the general ledger of office equipment. Since we have only one transaction for office equipment, our balance at the end of the month is also 250,000 pesos, and that 250,000 is a debit balance. That is a normal balance because office equipment is an asset. Next, office furnitures and fixtures. We have only one transaction that happened on April 3, 2020. If you will go back to General Journal page 1, you can see the entry, debit, office, furnitures and fixtures, credit cash, 75,000 pesos. That is why if we will post that transaction to the general ledger, it will appear on the debit column, 75,000 pesos. Since we have only one transaction for the month of April, the balance of office furnitures and fixtures is also 75,000 pesos, and that is a normal debit balance because office furnitures and fixtures is an asset. Next account is store equipment. Again, we have only one transaction for office equipment that happened on April 4, 2020. If you will go back to General Journal page 2, as indicated in our reference number, we purchased store equipment amounting to 125,000 pesos, and the entry in the General Journal is debit store equipment 125,000 and credit cash 125,000. That is why we will post that 125,000 in the debit column of our store equipment general ledger. So that is 125,000 pesos. So that 125,000 pesos is the balance of our store equipment, and that is a debit normal balance. Take note of the page number. Store equipment is page 6. If you will go back to the General Journal, you can see in the General Journal the reference number GL6 for store equipment. That refers to General Ledger page 6. And that is the essence of the reference number for paper trail purposes. Next, accounts payable. Accounts payable is a liability account. We are now on the page 7 of the general ledger. Again, accounts payable is a liability account. In accordance with our discussion, the normal balance of any liability is credit balance. Therefore, the normal balance of accounts payable is credit. So let's take up the transactions that were posted in this general ledger of accounts payable. So on April 6, there was a purchase on account. If you will go back to General Journal, page 2, you can see an entry. Debit purchases, 176,000. And credit, accounts payable, 176,000. Credit, accounts payable. That is why, if we will post that transaction to the ledger of accounts payable, that will be posted on the credit side because the original entry is credit accounts payable 176,000 pesos, and that is also the balance of on April 6 of accounts payable of 176,000. That 176,000 is a credit balance because the normal balance of accounts payable is credit, and you can see in the posting that it is on the credit side. That's why that 176,000 is a credit balance. But we have another transaction on April 11, 2020. There was a payment of accounts payable of 100,000 pesos, meaning the company paid or settled its indebtedness. The amount of 100,000 pesos was paid to the supplier. So, that amount of 100,000 pesos should be deducted from the original balance of 176,000 pesos. That is why the balance of our accounts payable for the month of April is only 76,000 pesos. Because 176,000 minus 100,000 pesos, the balance is 76,000 pesos. The normal balance is credit. So that 76,000 pesos is a credit balance. Why? Because the credit entry is greater than the debit. So that 76,000 pesos is a credit balance, and that is a normal balance for accounts payable because it is a liability account. Next, let's proceed to another ledger, the ledger for capital, Alexa Grace Capital, and that was labeled as page 8. So on April 2, 2020, there was an entry. If you will go back to General Journal page 1, you can see a journal entry, debit cash, credit, Alexa Grace Capital of 2 million pesos. Credit, Alexa Grace Capital. That is why we will post the 2 million in the credit column of the ledger. So, it will appear that the balance is 2 million pesos. That 2 million pesos is a credit balance. On April 30, we have another transaction. There was a withdrawal of 27,000. Withdrawal by the owner. There was a debit entry. If you will go back to the General Journal page 5, there was a withdrawal of 27,000 pesos. And that 27,000 pesos should be deducted from 2 million. That is why the balance of the capital account is 1,973,000 pesos. So that 1,973,000 pesos balance is the balance of the capital at the end of April. It is a credit balance. How did we know that it is a credit balance? Because the credit entry is greater than the debit entry. And that credit balance in capital account is a normal balance, because normally the balance of capital is credit in accordance with our previous discussion. Next, this is the ledger for sales. Actually, we have two transactions for sales. The first one happened on April 9, 2020. If we will go back to General Journal page 3, we can see sales for cash. The entry on that General Journal is debit cash, credit sales, 490,000. That is why we put that 490,000 on the credit column. Of course, the balance is also 490,000 pesos. We have another transaction for sales that happened on April 10, the following day. And that transaction can be seen in General Journal page 3 as sales on account. So the amount is 560,000 because the account title sales was credited. So that 560,000 pesos, both of them are credit with 490,000. That will be put together. The total is 1,050,000 pesos. And that 1,050,000 pesos is the balance of sales for the month of April. That 1,050,000 pesos is a normal credit balance because the credit is greater than the debit. Normal balance for sales because it is a revenue. The normal balance of any revenue is credit. Next, we have salaries expense. We have only one transaction for these salaries. This represents the payment of salaries of the company's employees amounting to 97,000 pesos, and that can be seen in General Journal page 4. You can see an entry, debit salaries expense, credit cash of 97,000 pesos. That is why it is put here 97,000 on the debit column. And that is also the balance of your salaries expense for the month of April. That 97,000 pesos is a debit normal balance. Why? Because the debit is greater than the credit. And according to our discussion, the normal balance of all expenses is debit. So the same is true with other expenses like office supplies. We have only one transaction of 15,000 pesos, and that is the balance of office supplies for the month of April, and that balance is a normal debit balance. And the same is true with advertising expense. We have only one transaction amounting to 65,000 pesos, and that 65,000 pesos is a normal debit balance because all expenses has a normal balance of debit. The next expense is communication expense. We have only one item here amounting to 34,000 pesos. And that 34,000 pesos is a debit normal balance. So we have utilities expense of 13,000 pesos. We have only one transaction, and that 13,000 pesos is a normal debit balance. So the last one, the last item, the last ledger that we will tackle is purchases. And purchases is labeled as page 11 or general ledger 11. So the first transaction occurred on April 5, 2020, purchase of merchandise for cash. If you will go back to general journal page 2, the entry is debit purchases and credit cash 376,000 pesos. That is why the 376,000 pesos was posted on the debit column. Of course, that will be the balance on April 5, 2020. We have another transaction the following day, purchase on account. If you will go back on the general journal page 2, you can see an entry, debit purchases, credit accounts payable of 176,000 pesos. That is why it is indicated in the debit column of 176,000 pesos. The first purchase for cash and the second purchase on account will be put together, and they have a total of 552,000 pesos. And that amount of 552,000 pesos is the balance of purchases at the end of the month. The 552,000 pesos is a debit balance. It is a normal balance because purchases is considered as cost, and all cost has a normal debit balance. So let's now proceed with the preparation of the trial balance. I want to emphasize to everybody that trial balance is not a financial statement. It is not part of financial statement. The trial balance is just a procedure in preparation for financial statements. The purpose of the trial balance is to try whether the posting to the general ledgers are correct. What will appear in the trial balance is the ending balance for each general ledger account. Example, for cash. If we will place cash here in the trial balance, what will appear is the balance of cash at the end of April. So, meaning to say we will get the balances from the balances of the general ledger that we prepared previously, that we prepared a while ago. So we will take the general ledger one by one, and we will put their balances, whether debit and credit, in the trial balance. That is why the headings in the trial balance are accounts title, meaning to say we will indicate here, we will enumerate in this column cash, accounts receivable, prepaid insurance, and so on and so forth. And then, we will indicate the amount, whether the balance is debit or credit. If the balance appearing in the ledger is debit, therefore we will put that amount on the debit column. If the balance in the general ledger is a credit balance, we will put that amount on the credit column. So, that is the purpose of the trial balance. We will make a trial if the accounts we posted in the general ledger are correct. That is why it is called trial balance. We are making a trial. We are trying our best to ensure that the amounts posted in the general ledger are correct and accurate. Let's proceed. The first account title is cash. The first ledger, that is general ledger 1, cash. The amount, if you will take a look at your general ledger for cash, the balance of cash is 1,449,000 pesos. And that balance is a debit balance. That is why we put that 1,449,000 in the debit column of your trial balance. Remember, that is the reason why we must know the normal balances, so that upon preparation of the trial balance, we can easily identify if the amounts will be placed either on debit or on credit. Since cash is an asset and the balance is a debit balance, we will put that amount on the debit column. Next, accounts receivable is 400,000. That 400,000 is the amount appearing in the ledger as the balance of accounts receivable for the month of April. And that is a debit balance. Next, prepaid insurance, 24,000. That is the amount appearing in the ledger, also a debit normal balance. Next, office equipment, 250,000, the amount appearing in the general ledger, which is a normal debit balance. Office furniture and fixtures, 75,000, the same with office equipment, normal debit balance. Store equipment, 125,000, the same with other assets. We have a normal debit balance of 125,000 pesos. So let's proceed with the other accounts. Accounts payable, take note, accounts payable is a liability. Please go back to the ledger of accounts payable. You can see the balance, and that balance is a credit balance, 76,000 pesos. This is the normal error being encountered by beginners in accounting. The normal error, the usual error is that instead of putting 76,000 on the credit, usually they put it on the debit. So we have to be very careful. Since accounts payable is a liability and the balance of 76,000 appearing in the ledger is credit, we will put 76,000 as credit in our trial balance. Next, Alexa Grace Capital, take note, it is also credit, 1,973,000. If you will go back to the ledger of Alexa Grace, you can see that the balance is 1,973,000 and that is a credit balance. That is why when it comes to trial balance, we will post that 1,073,000, 1,973,000 to the credit column. Next, sales, another credit, 1,050,000. Take a look at the ledger for sales. You can see the balance of 1,050,000 and that is a credit balance because the total credits are greater than the total debits. As easy as that. Salaries expense, 97,000. Very simple. Take a look at the ledger. 97,000 is on the debit side. Office supplies, 15,000, also with a normal balance of debit. Advertising, 65,000 normal balance, debit. Communication, 34,000, normal balance, debit. Utilities, 13,000, normal balance, debit. And the last one, we have purchases of 552,000 pesos. So, if you will get the total of debit, that is 3,099,000 pesos. If you will get the total of the credit, that is also 3,099,000 pesos. If you have your calculator right now, you can check, you can double check if the balance is really 3,099,000 pesos. So, what is the purpose of the trial balance? We are making a trial, and our trial is successful because we were able to determine that the posting to the general ledger are all correct because the total debits are the same with the total credits. Again, trial balance is not a financial statement. Trial balance is just a preparatory procedure proceeding to the preparation of the financial statements. This is a significant procedure because without trial balance, we cannot proceed to the preparation of the financial statements. So here, we arrive at a comfortable mind that all the entries posted in the general ledger are accurate because we have a balanced trial balance. So I want to thank everybody again for this for patronizing and viewing this lecture on fundamentals of accounting. I think this is a very significant lecture, and I hope you understand clearly how we post transactions from general journal to the general ledger, and I hope you also understand the reasons behind why we are preparing trial balance. So it is very satisfying on the part of the accountant if the trial balance are balanced. It is there is a feeling of fulfillment whenever you were able to balance transactions in accounting. So again, thank you very much and good evening.